Hey everybody, welcome to this video. If you didn't know, August is actually Basement Safety Awareness Month, and I moved to my first ever house with a basement in September of last year, so I just missed it, but it's great because it's given me a year to develop some really good safety habits when it comes to my basement. So if you are excited to see a basement video, like this video, subscribe, and I'll start giving you some tips. Tip number one is to booby trap the basement door. So in a way that it would be difficult for somebody to have gone into the basement and then to replace the booby traps. For me, this is only kind of just barely on here. So if someone opens the door or closes it just the slightest bit roughly, this will fall off, and obviously once you're on the other side of the door you can't really put it back up. So if somebody's hiding in there, you know, you get it. The next thing that I do that's less secure is I have these leaning up against the door jamb. Again, difficult to replace from somebody who was going into my basement to hide in there. This one is slightly less secure because you can kind of get it, and also I stub my toe on them all the time and then they fall, and then it's kind of inconvenient, honestly. Number two, never go into your basement at night. That's when all of the demons and ghosts are alive and will try and get you. Safety tip number three, try and come down here at least once a week, but don't do it on the same day of the week, because then the demons and ghosts or vagabonds squatting in your basement will start to learn the pattern and be like, oh, it's Saturday, I shouldn't be in the basement because Christiana's gonna come looking for me. You're watching the Christiana321. I am the Christiana. Normally I say that at the beginning of the video, but I think I forgot. So I normally make it my laundry day. Sometimes it's a Tuesday, sometimes it's a Saturday, sometimes it's a Wednesday, sometimes I'll do it 2 days in a row, like a Wednesday and a Thursday, and that might be because I forgot to come back down and like get my laundry out and folded and stuff, or it's because of the vagabonds. Tip number four, don't have any like creepy hiding places where people could be lurking. You want to have everything pushed as close up against the wall as possible. And yes, I have an extra bed down here because I was going to make it into a guest room, but I don't want to have guests. Tip number five has to do with storage. You don't want to store any family heirlooms, any cursed objects, any Ouija boards, skeletal remains, really anything that could attract unkind spirits. Just don't store it in the basement. That's what the attics are for. Tip number six, if you live in a tornado zone, what's that? Do you hear something? Not the cats. The cats are freaking out, which it's probably fine. Don't normally stay down here for safety. Tip number six, if you're in a location that might have severe weather or tornadoes, that sort of thing, where it's likely that you'll need to bunker in your basement, have supplies. I like to have a good amount of water, some snacks down here, some supplies for the cats. They have a travel litter box, and I just grab a thing of food for them on the way down. Did you hear something? Is there an unkind spirit? Okay. This is very weird for her. She is cuddly, but not normally like this. She does not normally want me to hold her. Okay, so tip number seven, if you were gonna cask of Amontillado a person, don't do it in your own basement. That's way too obvious. If there is a dead body behind a brick wall in your house, you're the first person that they're gonna come looking for. So yeah, just don't, I mean, preferably don't cask of Amontillado somebody, but if you're going to, be smart about it. And tip number 7, before I get to tip number 7, make sure you like, subscribe. If you have any good safety tips for people, sorry, there's a weird shadow. If you have any good safety tips for people for basement safety, let me know in the comments below. I didn't include all of mine just in case a nefarious person or an unkind spirit was watching. But I'd love to hear some of yours. So tip number 7. Don't get a house with a basement. Like, you're just inviting unkind spirits. And don't get me started on adding